Thank you.
At the same time, like after I do karaoke, before I do karaoke.
Well, I have a spot in here when I talk about the gratitude to the employees towards the end. That probably would be a good time to do it. Okay? I'll wave to you. We're ready. Good evening. Hello? Is everybody ready to begin the meeting? It's really great to see so many of you out here, because I can tell you I was a little worried when we said we weren't going to do the cocktail party until afterward. And I thought, okay, everybody's going to wait until 5 minutes to 7 and then they're going to storm the doors. But anyway, again, good evening and thank you for coming. On behalf of the Board of Governors, welcome. We really appreciate it. We'd like to tell you a little bit about what happened in 2016. But I promise, my goal for this evening is not to look out at the audience and see some sighs and yawns. So we will try to be as succinct and to the point as possible. I hope everyone picked up one of these. We did this the same as we did last year. There's information on the committees, what they did during the year, the board as a whole, what they did. There's lots more than what was noted, but of course, not everything is as much interest as we might think. So I won't bore you with repeating anything that's on the flyer, but one of the things I would like to bring to your attention is that when you look at the flyer, there are lots of member photos for the standing committees. None of this happens by itself. And so I would encourage you, if you have an interest in any of the standing committees, to contact that chairman. You can find who the chairman will be on the website, and of course you'll hear it tonight, and see if you could participate on a standing committee. It really does take a village. Sometimes you think we don't do a lot, but I promise you we work really hard at what we do. Another thing that I would like to tell you about is some of the aspects of what the board does. Even though it is written, I'm sure that's not one of the things that you really want to read when you're on the web. You want to see what's happening in golf, what's happening in dining, all of that kind of thing. But we are comprised of 9 governors. And those governors are nominated and elected for a 3-year term by the club membership. Each governor may run for a maximum of 2 consecutive terms. And this board, there are other boards in Pinehurst, but this board represents the entire Pinehurst membership, which is approximately 5,000 people. Our purpose is defined by the bylaws, which also can be found on the web. But in brief, we are organized to assist in the planning, coordinating, and oversight of the social and recreational activities and the affiliated organizations. We are the liaison between the membership and Pinehurst management. Our charge is to listen to the members' needs, evaluate them, and forward recommendations to management. Each month at the board meeting, we discuss any issues that have arisen so that everybody on the board is on the same page with any answers that we have provided to members or suggestions that they have made. We endeavor to reinforce a single club mentality. All members are the same. No matter what classification of membership you are, you're a Pinehurst member, and what you think and what you would like is really important to all of us. And we do encourage you to contact any of us if you have a question, a concern, or even just a comment of something that you think would be better. You may not receive the exact answer you're looking for, but I can promise you we will respond. So with that little bit of housekeeping out of the way, I would like to introduce the outgoing 2016 board. Each of you, if you would please stand until the end, and if the audience would like to clap, would you hold that till the end also? And if they don't, well, that's okay too. Jay Carruthers headed pool this year. No, this is the outgoing board, dear.
That's why you're sitting
Vicki Hancock chaired communications. Nancy Heilman chaired House. Jim Kazmarek chaired membership. Merle Lewis did the celebration of champions and the election. Howard Schwartz, golf. Stephanie Stokes, TLCP, which of course stands for tennis, lawn bowls, croquet, and pickleball, which is why you understand what we abbreviated to. Gary Stroll, our vice president. And we have 2 appointed members every year, and that's the secretary, Pat Hagan, and Ed Renner to my left, the treasurer. Thank you for the work all of you have put forward this year. There are 2 outgoing governors, Jim Kazmarek and Nancy Heilman. It is traditional that the outgoing governor specifies an organization for which they would like a donation sent. Jim chose the Moore County Humane Society, and Nancy's choice was the St. John Paul School, and those checks have been sent. As you know, each year there are 3 seats that are up for election. This year, the number of nominees did not exceed those 3 seats. So no necessity for an actual election. Easiest one ever, much different than what we encountered in November as citizens. But though that did make for the easiest club election ever, I would still encourage any of you, next year in August when the announcement goes out, think about it. It really is something that's really important for the club to continue. It might appear that this is a thankless job, but I can assure you there really are good positives. One of them is working with and getting to know a terrific group of people, dedicated to the club, to its members, to enhancing programming, to working with management. Sometimes we're the first to know what's happening. Granted, sometimes the Pinehurst rumor mill also is the first to know. But recently, at a 7 a.m. breakfast with Jay Biggs, we learned of the exciting developments that are going to happen on the golf courses and the short game course. And we heard it before it was announced to the membership and to the golf world later that morning. So I think any governor that you would speak to would really say that it's definitely a rewarding experience. But enough of that. So now I'm going to introduce the 2017 board. At an earlier meeting this evening, the officers for 2017 Board of Governors were elected. I will continue as president, Gary Stroll as vice president. This is his 2nd consecutive term. Pat Hagan continues as secretary and Ed Renner as treasurer, and that is the officers of the board. The committee chairs are Stephanie Stokes for communications, Howard Schwartz for golf, Jay Carruthers for House, Vicki Hancock for membership, Merle Lewis for celebration of champions and election. We now also have 2 new governors, Jim Hart and Mike Pierce. Jim has been a member. Jim has been a member of Pinehurst for almost 4 years, during which time he's been active on the membership committee. And he speaks at the new member orientations, and he tells everyone what a wonderful thing it is that his dues are so much higher, because it means he really does use the club. Mike Pierce has been a member since 2004, but just recently retired and moved permanently to Pinehurst in 2015. His backgrounds and skills in city government make him an asset while working through both committees and board structure. Thank you all for volunteering. We have another tradition of the board, and that is a special recognition award. This is to honor a member who exemplifies volunteer service. For a 2nd time, we did this last year also, we could not choose, so we selected 2 individuals. I'm going to present the first one, and Nancy Heilman will present the second. This individual has been coming to Pinehurst from the mid-60s before becoming a member in 1988. Though he has served and chaired many other groups in his pre-retirement life, I will only mention those happening in Pinehurst. He was chairman of tennis, lawn bowling, and croquet, served on the Member Relations Committee, worked on the memorabilia, and developed annual reports. He was instrumental in the initial plans for the computerized tea time system. While on the Board of Governors, he served as chairman of communications, long-range planning, vice president, and president. He has supported Pinehurst Championship management in 5 U.S. Opens, vice chair for all on-course volunteers for men's and women's Opens, volunteer chairman for the 11 U.S. Kids World Championships conducted in Pinehurst. He works in chairman capacity for Pinehurst tournaments such as Liberty Mutual, Acura Alumni, and the Bud Newton Memorial. Certainly this man is an inspiration to our community and to Pinehurst Country Club. Richard Lawson, would you please come forward? It is truly a pleasure to give you this. I'm sorry it can't be for $1 million. Thank you. Nancy, would you like to come up? Okay, now you need to use the microphone.
Thank you, Mary. Boy, it's a full house. It's really nice to see. Yes, thank you. I've known this person for over 22 years when I joined the Pinehurst Garden Club, and she was the guru of the Magnolia branch, actually of the whole club. If you had a horticultural question, you went to this person. But I'm also aware of her attributes and her contributions to Pinehurst Country Club. And I think this person, and Richard also, but they remind you of what it is to be a member at the best country club, I believe, in the United States. She's played tennis for over 27 years, served on that board. Beginning in 2001, she served as secretary and then president in 2011. She was elected to the Board of Governors in 2009, served for 3 years as assistant chair of communications and chair of the House. That's a great committee. Played golf with the Chippers for 17 years, served on that board, and was their chairman also. She initiated Girls Giggles and Golf, an evening activity which has evolved into the Ladies on the Links. She's arranged luncheons and speakers at the club for many organizations many, many times. She's been instrumental in getting pickleball started here and currently serves on the tennis, lawn bowls, croquet, and pickleball committee and the pickleball steering committee. This is just a small summary of what this person's done here as a member of Pinehurst Country Club, and I know she's so proud to have been a member and still is a member. She's getting an award after her husband got one a couple years ago, but I'm so proud to present the award to Carol Van Zanten.
Isn't it truly a wonderful thing to see people that work so hard, but it's also a wonderful thing to see so many of you here. And the thing that I find most rewarding is when I go to the different events, I look around and I don't know anybody, which really tells me that the amenities, the programming, everything that has gone on, particularly since 2013, is focused for all of you members. And thankfully, all of you members are taking advantage of it, because if you didn't, obviously we wouldn't be able to do it. So give yourselves a round of applause. Something that I found out this year and surprised me, I'm not sure why, sometimes I'm either dense or naive, but I was told that when the club closes after Thanksgiving, it's the staff that comes in and does all the work to make this so beautiful for the holiday season. I guess in my brain I thought, we either outsourced it or the maintenance department did it. But no, it's the staff, both here, the staff at 7 and 9, all of the decorations that are put up. Some of them like a particular thing, but no matter what, paid, not paid, they give their time and really their heart to make this club so beautiful. And I think they deserve a great round of applause also. And you see many of them in the wait staff or sitting at the desk, and then there are so many that are behind the scenes. Today, as usual, I came in and I needed something copied, and Joy wasn't sitting at the admin desk, and I thought, oh no, who's going to help me now? So I peeked my head around a corner, and sure enough, there was someone I didn't know, and he couldn't be nicer to help me do a small thing like copying. I just say that because it's not just the people you see every day. It takes more than a village to keep a club like this running. And to me, that is just such a wonderful statement that they're proud, we're proud, and as Nancy said, I think this is the best club, not in the United States or North America, but in the world. And I am grateful to be a member. And before I turn it over to Jay Biggs, I think Nancy would like to say one more thing that follows a little bit of what I just said. Certainly. Oh, could you pass that so I don't drag all this stuff with me?
As my final duty as a board member, you may know that I'm in charge of the Employee Christmas Fund. And I just want to give one last plug. I know you've seen a lot of emails and things like that. I hate to tell you, but the fund isn't as good as it was last year, and I'm really worried and disappointed. So if you've donated, thank you very much. If you haven't, you might want to think about it. You have until Thursday. It really is a wonderful fund for everybody who works here, from the lady who vacuums that rug every morning and cleans those bathrooms, to the valets out at our car, to the bag drop guys. It's a wonderful fun, and think of it as a Christmas gift. And thank you very much, and Merry Christmas.
Okay, now I will turn the meeting over to Jay Biggs, who will discuss PCC in 2017. That could be followed by some member questions for a short period. Now, don't ask a dues question, because that doesn't happen until February. After that, we'll start the open house. And again, thank you for being a Pinehurst member, and thank you for your time this evening.
Thanks, Mary. Congratulations to Richard and Carol. Very well deserved. We're going to start out. I've got a lot to talk about, as you can imagine, but I really want to start out with one thing I really love about Pinehurst is the fact that we have big things happen all the time. And big things for us don't always seem like big things, but we've got the floorball next year, and that's a really big deal. So Brian Fahey's been working a lot, very hard over the last year to get ready and prep for this. So Brian's going to come up and say a few things, tell you a little bit about what's going on and opportunities that you might be able to participate in the event.
Thank you, Jay. Yeah, great things happen here at Pinehurst all the time, and certainly 2017 is no different. As many of you know, we've been honored by the USGA to host their newest USGA championship. We'll be hosting the 3rd annual U.S. Amateur Floorball Championship. In fact, we're going to be hosting 3 USGA championships basically over the next 8 years, which I can probably honestly say no other club in the country is doing. So that's certainly a testament to the quality of the golf course we have, but obviously it's really about the community here at Pinehurst and the effort the members here at Pinehurst and in the community in general put forth in putting on those events. So with that being said, in 2017, we are hosting their newest event, something you have not seen before, may not have seen before, 2017 being the third year. But we are looking for volunteers for that championship. You may have already seen some information about that, and many of you in this room, I'm sure, have already signed up to be a volunteer, which is great. We're approximately 230 or so volunteers right now. And if we do this thing the way the USGA wants us to, and we do, and I know we'll get there, we need about 400 volunteers. So we still got about 200 more to go. So if you've signed up and the person sitting next to you hasn't, get them to sign up. If your neighbor hasn't signed up, get them to sign up. There's plenty of jobs and opportunities that can fit something that you're looking to do or willing to do. And with that being said, myself, along with Larry McWayne, will be at the front left of the room following the meeting. We can provide you information on how to become a volunteer, some information on the committees, the schedule of events. So we'll be up there following the meeting to answer any questions you may have. We've got up next to the Christmas tree is the 4-ball championship trophy, which is on display in our Champions Hallway or on the resort side there. So feel free to come on up, take a look at the trophy, get your picture taken with the trophy. Again, it's a very, very new championship, so there aren't too many of those trophies laying around. So get your chance to come up and get a close look at that trophy there. And also, finally, we do have some merchandise in the golf shop as well. You can be among the first to have some of that great 4-ball championship merchandise in that shop there. So if you haven't volunteered yet, we encourage you to do so. And again, be looking out for those other USGA championships. We got the U.S. Amateur in 2019, and obviously the next U.S. Open in 2024. So thanks so much.
Thanks, Brian. So sometimes these are very difficult for me because most people are surprised that I'm an emotional guy, but when I start talking about these committees and board and how hard they do work, my team, you do get a little emotional with it. But this board, as you look through the committee roster and everything it's been accomplished this year, it's pretty amazing. Every year I sit up here and I think about the last year and just what all's happened is really pretty cool and amazing that we get it all done. And we've got so much going on next year. And it seems like we say that a lot, but Pinehurst is a place that's always been moving forward and a place that always will be improving and getting better. But I always like to look a little bit back on 16. Some of these were listed, but some weren't. It was a good year for the club. It was our first full year that we had the pool operating. Last year we opened right around 4th of July. This year we were able to operate the entire year. To be very honest, I think we didn't have enough events out there, so we're going to do some more next year. We've got such a great place to have evening events and a great place to do other events. So as we go, we learn more and more each year. So the pool was great to have it open this year. And Nancy and her team continue to grow our programming. I'm amazed at how much we are able to pull off. And we try to hit something for every demographic, every person, and I think we just blow it out of the water. I like the word traditions. There's so many. We've got a few new ones that I can think of right off the top of my head. The tournament the evening of champions. We had the dinner, the 4th of July. One of my favorites is the racetrack. We did that again last year for the second time, and we'll do it again. So anytime at a club you can have one tradition a year, that's pretty good, but we seem to be having 2 or 3. So at some point we're probably going to hit a wall, but I hope not. With the 4th of July, we decided it was really good for us and the hotel, a nice thing to have. So we really learned that we can partner and do some things with hotel guests, and allows us to have amenities that we wouldn't normally be able to do as an individual unit. So this year, if you've been over to the ice skating rink at the hotel, it's been very well received, a lot of fun. So we keep coming up with more things to do at different times of the year. So it's great to work with the resort team to come up with those events that are supported by members and the resort guests. We'll say this year, we always track member usage, and it's up 7% this year, which every year, I think, since 2013, it's been up 7 to 10%. It's really with the same number of members, so it's really exciting and great that these programs and people are enjoying the club. I always said the big things, number 5 greens were redone this year. We've been able to do at least a set of greens each year. 5 greens turned out very well. Can't wait till next summer when they're in full bloom and growing season. And then, another year with number 6 greens. So everybody plays number 6. It's amazing the difference those greens have made to that golf course throughout the year. Did Member Appreciation Week this year, here in the fall. Had great response from that. We were going to do one in the spring and fall again, a week. And we'll get that information out far enough in advance so you can plan. If you have folks you want to bring in and partake in that. But keep an eye on that. It was, really across the board with all amenities. We had different pricing structures that worked and were more affordable if you wanted to bring somebody and really enjoy the club. Fitness center. We've joke around here with everybody. I hate to even bring it up, but the Deuce, it was a stat at one meeting that it took longer to get the Deuce built than it did to build the Holly Inn. And I think that's accurate. So, but with all of our pushbacks, we've got temporary fitness down here, and we've now got temporary fitness. We've got another one, but I wanted to be sure that we have enough fitness. So we found a space that needed a tenant, and we put our fitness center in there. So that'll be in there. We plan on having it in there for the next year. Hopefully you've been over to see it. I called Time Warner. For those who've used it, I called Time Warner about an hour ago or an hour before the meeting. Says, I got to have an answer on when the TVs are going to be ready. And they've got a new technology they're putting in, and they're supposed to hit this week. So we should have TVs by the start of the next week, hopefully. So I do apologize for that. I'm very proud of it all. We've got some things we're adding, but the TVs have been something we need to get up. But if you haven't been over there and been involved in a class or used the facility, it's really turned out nice, and the classes have gone over very well. Thanks to everybody that's filled out the member survey. This is our second year doing the member survey. If you haven't done it, please help us out with that. We really use that as a tool to see what everybody is thinking and what they like and don't like. When we talk about club, I always talk about membership. Last year we had Frank Gore in to talk about the state of the golf industry and the club industry. We had a good year. We talk about the number of members we have, but we have the exact number as of 2 weeks ago. We had 4,422 members. We had 1,435 golf. We had 748 sport members, and we have 2,239 social members. 690 folks that do the dining card, and we've got 52 folks in the wine society. When it comes to golf members, that's always one to track and the hardest one wherever the industry is having trouble with. We ended up with 7 more golf members than we started the year with, so that's always a good thing. So we had a good year. We've done some things some programming and done well with it. So for 17, I'm going to save the golf course things for last, but I did talk a little bit about the member appreciation weeks. Watch for those, and we're looking for more ways to enhance those to be sure that every outlet, every amenity can have something to participate with there. The Deuce, if you saw the winter hours, the Deuce has come in with such great response. It is right next to the main club. We do not give the 20% off there, so I'm sorry for that, but I really there's a lot of reasons for that, but the biggest one is we've got a club right next to it. I need to be sure we can keep it supported, for one thing. And when it's really busy resort-wise, we need golfers to be able to come in and eat quick and get out. So we've got 2 great venues there. The comments have always been, now we need to step it up on the other outlets within the resort world to compete with the Deuce. So we are aware of that, and we're figuring out the way to keep enhancing our amenities. But what we're going to do in January and February, we are going to close Pinehurst Country Club for lunch service on Monday and Tuesdays. We're going to be open for breakfast. We're going to have a bartender in there throughout the day if you're coming off the golf course. But if you want to grab lunch, it's going to be in the Deuce and at 30% off. If you have the dining card, it'll be 50% off. So we think it'll be a good experience. When we came up with, I think it's a good experience, something different for the membership. Hopefully you like that, enjoy that. And we did work with the resort. I think the Carolina breakfast is very, very special. So that through those 2 months will be at $18.95 versus I don't even want to say the normal rate, but that's a substantial discount over there. But that'll be over there. We've got a few times where we'll have the hotel will be full, so there'll be a couple blackout dates that we'll publish, but for the most part you'll have access to the Carolina dining room for breakfast with the buffet. We have hired a new chef for the main club. He is coming to us from Four Seasons in Branson, Missouri. He'll be starting January 4th, so we're really excited to get him in here in the main club. Number 7's greens. That's in part of our master plan with the golf courses over here at the core. But number 7's greens, if you've probably seen that, they're going to be regrassed in June and July of this year also. So we're happy to do that and get that. That'll be we're down to only a couple of courses left that have bent grass greens, and we've been working so far every year. We've converted at least one set of greens. So the big project, the golf courses. We've been working on a master plan for a while. We really weren't ready to release this information because a lot of it's very, very in the planning stages. But we had the designer Gil Hands, who's done several golf courses, but most recently the Olympic golf course. Great architect in the same mold as Bill and Ben, Bill Quirr and Ben Crenshaw. Really, the word was getting out there quite a bit, and we've got quite a few good friends with certain media outlets, and they were calling, checking on things, so we had to get it out there. So I've got a timeline. We'll talk a little bit about what's going to happen, and then we'll take some questions. I'll tell you kind of why we're doing it. So December, essentially in the next few days, we'll start to work on courses 3 and 5. The first thing you'll see is the second hole of course number 3 will be flip-flopped, the green and tee. And to do this, we want to be sure that we only have one golf course down at a time. We've always had one golf course when we've been regrassing. We don't have compaction problems. So it's been quite the project, the logistics to figure out how to only have one golf course closed at a time. So we'll get that done. We'll start working on some holes on course number 3. And we'll have those open in March of 2017. And you'll start getting designs, plans. I haven't seen the layout of the holes on either one of those 2 golf courses. We just know they're in the works. Kyle Franz is working on them, and I don't have them, but as we do get those and we do release them to the world, obviously the membership will be the first to see those, along with the media outlets as we do that. But we're going to take part, you've probably seen in the controversy, the big talk is course number 3 becoming a par 68. We're going to take the 2 holes. We're going to take the 5th hole, and we're going to turn it into 2 holes, and we're going to take the 10th hole and turn it into 2 holes. I don't know exactly what those are going to look like. We think they're holes. I know a little bit. I've been out looking at number 10. It's going to be a short par 4. Par 3 looks like it's going to come down closer to the water and extend out. Beautiful par 3, good hole. So the holes are going to be, I think, no one ever likes everything, but I think most people will think these holes are improvements. I always get the question on the 68, are we concerned? I think we've got so much good golf, and we've never, people are liking the shorter courses, getting around the golf courses. So, perfect world, would we want to do that? I don't know. I don't think, like I said, they're building shorter and shorter courses all the time. So that's you'll start seeing the plans on those as soon as we get them. I wish I had them, but we're excited about it. We think we're going to put a little bit of a, Tom Pashley says the number 2 hammer, and I think it's a Pinehurst hammer. as much as anything, the exposed sand and the wiregrass. But we're going to come back and put some of the features on 3. The original features were some of the sand traps were grassed over. So some of those original features will come back. So that's going to be our timeline. We'll be open in March of next year. So golf courses should be really good and exciting to play next year. June of 17, we're going to start the short course construction, May or June. We've got the Concours, we've got a few things going on there. So we're working around that, and that will open on the September of 2017. Short courses are very kind of the new, latest, greatest thing. For us, I think it's going to be great with member events, member guests, just going out with grandkids are in town or kids, what have you. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's something you can do in a shorter amount of time. The holes are going to range from anywhere from, don't hold me to any of this, but because I don't know, but 60 to 110 yards or somewhere along that line. We hope that they will be able to hit a lot of different shots. We want you to be able to run some up, chip. So that's kind of the direction, the only direction we've given. So really going to wait to see what that looks like. Thistle Dew gets moved over to that area. So I think it's going to be as you come around the clubhouse, you're going to see some wiregrass, some greens, a pretty nice look to that. We're really excited about it. They're building them all around the country, and I think you're going to, well, I don't know about all around the country, but they're starting to become very popular. So I think you're going to really enjoy it. And I know we're going to have fun programming around it and trying to get more people out here to become golfers, because that's something we need to continue to work on. Number 4, redesign. That's going to happen September of next year. The course will go down, and it'll go down till September of 2018. So it's a year. There's a lot of irrigation, a lot of dirt moved. We think we need number 4 to be just a little more natural. We like that Pinehurst hammer. Originally, it was designed as a tribute to Donald Ross. It was exposed sand, very finished. Number 2, when we did number 2, now number 4 didn't really make as much sense maybe because it was so different than 2 as a tribute to Ross. So as it's evolved and we've learned, we think number 2 needs to be a little more natural, not so much forced dirt, natural flow of the land, and some wiregrass, sand, and feel very much like what Pinehurst is. So we're excited. We've got an initial routing, but there hasn't been anything done as far as the code work, any of that, nothing's been done with that. So we're in that early process. So we will start showing it, getting it out to the membership just as soon as possible. I can't wait to do it because I haven't seen it, but everybody's always asking me, and I wish I could show it because it's exciting. It's something I want to share, but we're just not ready to do it. But it won't be long. Gil Hance. I've met with Gil several times. Gil's a great architect. Done some great things. He's building some golf courses around the country that are along at Stream Song. If you've ever been there with Bill Ben and Tom Doak, and they're very good natural golf courses. And I think it'll take the drainage problems away with 4. When you play there, a lot of that dirt has been moved and forced, and I think it'll just play so much better, firmer, faster, and will feel much more like, we're not looking for a replica of number 2, but we're looking for that perimeter, that look of Pinehurst. So, million questions on that, and I'm going to take questions, but I'll also be up here. It's nice with the cocktail party after. I'm going to be here till the end. So please feel free if you're not comfortable asking questions in front of the group. But it's been a great year. I don't know what we've got a lot going on for 17. I can't wait to be up here next year looking back and thinking, wow, we got that done, plus some of these things that were on that sheet that weren't planned that was accomplished. So I'm glad there's a great turnout. We've got great food and drink. I will open it up for some questions. I think Ben's got a microphone here.
Hello.
Hey.
There's been a lot of rumors about the removal of trees on 4. I was wondering if you could address that, or if you know yet.
You know,
I've heard thousands of trees are going to be gone, all the azaleas and everything else.
yeah, no. When you redo a golf course, I can't imagine there won't be any trees, but there's no plan to remove lots of trees that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Yeah, we've not had that discussion. I've seen the route. You know, one thing when you redo a golf course, you've got a tree line. It's hard to, certain holes it's hard to totally redo because you've got a perimeter of trees. So, and none of them were ripping out a whole row of trees to put a hole there that I've seen. So,
Thanks.
yes, sir. Mm-hmm. Well, we're gonna sod it, so we think we'll be able to open it. We're hoping to open it March, April when we open the golf course with sod. Sod, 'cause it starts growing. It starts growing around that time. Bob thought we might be able to open it there. Don't hold me to it. It could. If it's not ready, we won't open it, but we think it should be ready to play in March. Sure.
You retain the azaleas, it's kind of a signature hole. Are you going to retain those for?
You know what? Like I said, the trees, azaleas, they've not even talked about that. We understand they're beautiful, you know. So I will plug that into Gil and see. But we haven't talked about plants around the golf course. But I will put that in there. But yeah, I agree with you. They're beautiful. Yes, sir. You know, yeah, and that's come up several times internally and from the membership. We always try to do what we need to do so people have access. I don't know what, at certain times there'll be more access than others, more availability on those. Dead high season resort. So I don't have the plan per se, but I would imagine we will. If we're lacking on a place to play, we will make opportunities for everybody to play. So, I mean, we've started talking about that and what that might look like, whether it's some play at 8, whether it's some play at, or if you're not 7-9, some folk at times where they're not as busy or what have you. But we will do everything we can do to accommodate any compaction problems we would have. But number 10. 9.5, the short course. No. But yeah, we understand. We won't put anybody in that position. We'll do our best not to. So, of course. Yes, sir. Ooh, good. Cart path only? We're still working on that. Don't know. So we've got all kinds of thoughts, concepts, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet. So I can't win on that one. So I got to be very honest. But we're not. Yeah, and we understand the restrictions that creates. There's pros and cons with all that, but we want to be sure we just do it what's right. You know, like I said, we work so hard on different amenities, golf being one where it's the tie-in of membership and resort, and I think that's one that becomes challenging if you get more than number two. So that way, so we understand, and we'll keep working on that. We'll let you know as we get there. We're not. It's funny. I tell you, the biggest challenge I have in my head is how to operate the short course. You know, because it's going to be quite. You got 8 to 10 holes, and I think the demand's going to be high. So you got a little course and a lot of people wanting to play it. So we'll be working on how we can utilize it and maximize that too. So everybody has a lot of opportunity. And I could be wrong, but I think there'll be a big demand on that. How are we doing on time? Is there one more? Oh, yeah.
Number 6 does not have a very welcoming clubhouse. When do you foresee that being rectified?
You know what? I was really going to be disappointed if that question wasn't answered or brought up. So, you know what? I live at 6. We've got several different things going on that we would love and think we need and would love to have a clubhouse at number 6. There are just some obstacles we're working through with different things to get there. It's something that I think we want as much as the folks that live there and all members that play there. So we're working through that, and hopefully next year that'll be a number one topic, or we'll be underway on something. But it's a lot like our other properties we have. There's some development things we need to work through, and we're working on different ideas all the time on how we can do that. But so yeah, we'll keep you posted on that too. But it's a great question, and it's something that will be very welcoming and very nice to have, I think. So. Yes. You know, it's one that it's a thing that we, within our executive team and owners, we're always looking on what we can do with that. And it's a big question, a big timing. You need a developer, you need development help, and so, but we're talking about that quite a bit. What we could do. Yes.
Yes, since you live on 6, as do I, and this is kind of a side question from the club, but related. Do you have any thoughts on this development off Airport Road that has access into Juniper Creek? Does the club have any say to that, or is that mainly village?
Good question. You know, I just saw it in the paper. I had one meeting where people were talking about it, but I think we're not even close to being there, so I don't really have an opinion on from a club perspective, on what that might do or be. So, I'm sorry. Hopefully that'll come to whatever sooner or later. But so, yeah. Anything else? Well, I hope everybody has enjoyed this year as much as I have. I hope everybody has a very Merry Christmas, great holidays, Happy New Year. And we've got a lot going on through the season here, so if you can enjoy the club, please do. We've got food and drink next door. We kind of flipped it around so we could have a little drink afterwards. So enjoy the night. I'll be around if you have any questions or if I can be of any assistance.